welcome to Ajay and Nathan Discuss Movies, a show in which we discuss movies both old and new. Today we have a new movie that just dropped in the theaters this past week. And Nathan, what is this movie titled and who directed it?
Oh, it is Fantastic Four First Steps, directed by Matt Shakman.
And what is this movie about?
This is the fourth attempt at a Fantastic Four movie, this time coming from Marvel Studios in the MCU. Stars an all-star cast: Vanessa, Kirby, Pedro, Pascal, Joseph, Quinn, Ebon, Moss-Bachrach, I believe. And they are the titular Fantastic Four. They have been superheroing for 4 years, and they meet the Silver Surfer, who heralds the coming of the Planet Eater Galactus, and now they must band together to save their lives and their very planet from destruction.
And this is 10 years roughly after the last Four Stick movie.
Yeah, roughly after Four Stick. Yes, I believe.
And unlike Four Stick, how did you feel about this movie?
This movie, Fantastic Four First Steps, I liked. I thought it was good. I am frustrated by it because as much as I enjoyed myself while watching it, and as much as I think that it is a good movie, I'm frustrated because I think it could have been great. I think it could have been a great movie. But as it stands, it's only really just good. I think it has a lot of problems that I personally have with it that just feels as though it's holding itself back. I'd say of the superhero releases we've had this year, I still enjoy Superman. I also enjoy Thunderbolts a bit more than Fantastic Four, but that is not to say I did not have a good time. I had a very good time. I've seen it twice. There's a lot of good about it, a lot of things I really love, but also a lot of things that annoy me. Ajay, what were your thoughts?
I felt like this movie was a placeholder for Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into my thoughts on the movie.
Go ahead.
I didn't love it. I certainly didn't hate it. I thought it was a fine movie, but an unmemorable watch. I thought I'll just start out with the positives, and obviously we can get into our negatives later on in the discussion. But first and foremost, I thought the cast was pretty good. I liked Vanessa Kirby. I thought she was a standout role in this movie. I thought that her performance was definitely the best out of the entire cast. I also really enjoyed Julia Garner. I thought the look of Silver Surfer was amazing. I thought Silver Surfer was an amazing role, and it was an amazing character in this movie. And I felt like Julia Garner really gave her all to this performance. And I thought she was definitely a really good addition to the cast. I'll get into more of the positives as well. I do enjoy Pedro Pascal in this movie. I thought he was sufficient. But I also enjoyed the dynamic of these characters, especially in the second and third act. I felt like in the third act, that's where it really shined through. And above all, I thought the fight sequence, especially in the third act of the film, was really good. Mm-hmm. I know I'm kind of jumping all over with this film, but I did watch this movie like a little over 3 days ago, so like my memory's a little bit hazy. But yeah, in terms of the positives, those were the positives for me.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the cast is... this movie succeeds in doing what the previous Fantastic Four movies have fumbled, which is, you know, defining these characters and defining like the chemistry between them. If nothing else, this movie gives the Fantastic Four a solid adventure with a very solid cast. As you said, Vanessa Kirby is the standout. She is essentially most of the emotional beats of the movie kind of hang off her, and she knocks it out of the park. Pedro Pascal, good as always. I really liked Joseph Quinn. I wasn't expecting to enjoy Johnny Storm as much as I did, but I found him to be a really standout character. Ebon Moss-Bachrach is good as the Thing, but I will say, to give the original Fantastic Four its flowers, I thought they had a much better thing in Michael Chiklis. I just
Oh,
think,
you're talking about the Tim Story one.
Yeah,
I thought you meant the 90s one.
no,
okay.
the one that technically does not exist.
Yeah.
But that Tim Story one, for all its faults, I thought The Thing is the best part of that movie.
Johnny!
And in this movie, he's there and he's pretty good. He's fun.
He has
but
like a weird relationship with Natasha, Lyonne's character.
He has
that really isn't fleshed out.
2 scenes with Natasha Lyonne where you say, well, I guess they're gonna
Ross and Rachel, I guess.
bang, I guess. It's clobbering time.
Look what the marketing guys did. Look, check it out. Listen. You love this.
It's clobbering time!
It's catchy, right?
But no, I think the cast is very good. A lot of my positives, most of my positives come from, I think it was a smart move to remove these characters and this story from the greater Marvel universe, allow it to have its own well-defined look and tone. The look of the movie is great. Sometimes the CGI can be a little shoddy, but the overall aesthetic and tone of it, the retro, futuristic 50s, 60s, is really nice and gives the movie its own identity. Even the score by Michael Giacchino, I thought stood out, where most of the time the score in a lot of superhero movies is just kind of there. This one really stands out. I love that Fantastic Four theme. It's actually like, it gets in my ear and I'm like, oh, I like the sound of that. So the style of this movie is really great. But I don't know. What do we want to get into our negatives? Do we want to get deeper?
I mean, we
into
can
this?
definitely get into it. We mentioned the CGI.
Yes.
Obviously, the CGI was not great in this movie, especially in that fight scene with Mr. Fantastic. I felt as if the stretching abilities of Mr. Fantastic, they didn't really embrace the cheesiness or the corniness of it. And I felt
Yeah.
if they played off of that and made it a little bit cheesy and corny, I felt like it would have. I would have been fine with it. I would have allowed it. But they didn't do that, and they played it very self-serious with Mr. Fantastic's powers, and to me, I felt like that was a detriment to the film.
Yeah, I think the movie as a whole, I think, is simultaneously, it's wanting to take bigger swings, but I feel as though it's holding itself back a little bit. Mr. Fantastic, he barely uses his powers at any point in this movie. He's basically just spamming the arm stretch real quick. You barely see him do anything really
I feel like
wacky and wild with it.
I feel like for most of the film, the Fantastic Four really don't use their powers.
They don't, but you know what? I will say I don't mind that, because something I really dig about the movie and kind of just how the Fantastic Four operate as a superhero team is that they're, first and foremost, they are scientists, and a majority of the movie is them trying to solve problems with using their intellect and quick thinking, and it's like,
And the Archimedes lever theory.
yeah, sure, whatever
the
that
most popular theory
whatever that was.
that we all know. We all know the Archimedes lever theory. How could you not know
Sure,
it?
it's movie science, whatever. It's a stretchy man and a rock guy. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it some wiggle room there, but
I'm not complaining about that.
yeah.
I just think it's kind of it was kind of funny to be like, yeah, of course we'll use
Archimedes lever.
Yeah, we'll just use it. What could go wrong?
But I do love that their approach to superheroing is they're there to solve problems. A majority of the movie felt like it's like I was watching like an episode of Star Trek, where it's like all the super intelligent like scientists are banding together to solve this issue without, trying to punch it. And I like that. I like taking that angle with this team. It, once again, helps set itself apart from the other superhero kind of stories, is that, they have to think through problems.
All right, I feel like we're good enough to get into the actual spoilers of this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So skip to this time frame to jump past it, but you did say that it was a fine movie and that you did have issues with it. Since we're into spoilers, what were those issues? Because I feel like it's important to like kind of discuss it.
Yeah, here's the thing with the movie is that I think for about half of it, I was slowly falling in love. Like, when they take that adventure up to space to go talk to Galactus, that entire sequence I thought was amazing. I thought it was so good that the rest of the movie struggled to like get back to that, like the meeting of Galactus, the fight they have with the Silver Surfer, that chase, all leading to the Invisible Woman giving birth to their son. That's such a fantastic sequence. But then after that, it feels like a sharp kind of drop. And from that point on, it feels as though the movie is rushing a little bit to just get to the third act confrontation with Galactus. It feels like it introduces some ideas, like there's a point where the public hates the Fantastic Four, and I thought, ooh, that's kind of an interesting angle, because the first half of this movie has just been building up, just like everyone loves the Fantastic Four, and now the Fantastic Four have willingly been like, we can't solve the problem, even though we were given a solution, but we're not going to sacrifice our kid to Galactus, and everyone is kind of justifiably very much like, what? No! Save us, Fantastic Four. We don't care about your kid. We've never met him.
Yeah, I felt as if like the dynamic between the public and the Fantastic Four was very similar in a little less fleshed out version of the recent Superman movie.
Yeah.
Where they want to go for that angle, but because it's the MCU and because you're dealing with essentially with writers and a staff and an entire universe that doesn't really hinge on the personal dynamics and the relationships and doesn't really care that much or prioritize that, they didn't know where to go with it.
Yeah, it was, and again, it was an interesting angle, interesting thing to add to the movie, but it is solved as fast as it is introduced. There's this weird edit that stood out like a sore thumb the second time I watched the movie, where you see this very quick little like news montage of just like, the nations are in an uproar, the cult of Galactus is here, and I'm like, ooh, you're introducing a lot of cool stuff, and then the Thing is just walking down the street, and two guys are just like, hey man, what about us? Hard cut to the Thing, he's like, guys, it's getting really bad out there. I'm like, is it? Doesn't sound that bad. And then that leads directly into Sue Storm's like kind of like corny little speech, just like, I have my family, but you all are also my family, and it instantly solves the public hating the Fantastic Four. And it's like, I'm okay with her having like a corny little speech, but it needs to feel earned.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And then we just jump into like, oh, we've got to solve the problem, which was fine. But it's just like, it felt like that half of the movie just didn't have a lot going on, really. It just felt very surface level, like we're here solving the problem. And there wasn't much to do there. And it just, again, I love that first chunk so much, and then it just kind of falls off. I do enjoy their fight with Galactus. I thought Galactus was really cool, but no, I've seen your letterbox.
Yeah.
No, talk about Galactus.
I don't know. I thought the confrontation between Galactus and the Fantastic Four in the beginning was cool. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
But then you see him walking around and you're just like, this is very less intimidating. Like, Galactus is supposed to be a very intimidating antagonist. He's supposed to be like this pervasive threat. And I thought for a little while that like Galactus could like actually be a character that could be seen in Doomsday, or just a character enough that's powerful enough to be in a film of that nature. But when you introduce him and when you just see him just like walking around like a very deformed version of Godzilla, you're just like, this is not what I anticipated. This is not what I had hoped. And the look of Galactus, while at first looked very sinister, as soon as you see him make contact with Earth, it just drops pegs and pegs and pegs off of that very shocking reveal when you first see him.
So I will both agree and disagree with you. I agree that the threat of Galactus feels very real the first time we see him. He is this big, eldritch, like, technical abomination, and he's really cool. I wish there was a little bit more of him, because then when we get to that third act, it's a fun sequence, them trying to, like, stop him, and he's just this huge, purple, pimp-looking mother. But he's defeated so easily, and it just felt like I kind of deflated. I was like, oh, I was expecting a bit more from this. And so, yeah, his sinister nature kind of, it drops a peg, like, during that third act, because now it's just like, oh, he really is just like, he is not this, he is a global world-ending threat, but they kind of take him out by just shoving him into a portal. But I will say,
there was no coherent thought process when it came to Galactus's motives or reasons or
he's
the
just
character.
hungry. He's just hungry. That's really it. I will say, I do like his design. I think
It looked nice.
I think he looks kind of cool. Even when he's stomping about, it looks a little corny, but it's like, it fits within the aesthetic of this universe. I think it's very funny when the second he drops onto the mainland, he, like, just scoops up a bunch of dirt and sniffs it. Like, oh, this man, he does just eat planets. I'm shocked they stopped it there and he didn't just, like, take a big old bite of, like, a bus. That would have been hilarious, and I would have loved to see it.
Another issue I had with the movie is that, and this was like a very glaring issue for me, was that at times it felt as if the movie was quite predictable. Meaning that I could kind of understand where the movie was going to go before I would see it on screen. For instance, the Silver Surfer. There was a moment in the film, especially in the first and second act, where she's being treated very badly by Galactus.
Yeah.
And you sort of see the reason as to why the Silver Surfer came to be. And I was like, oh, that person's going to sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
One way or another, they're going to be in the heat of the moment and do something that will sabotage themselves.
They're gonna come out as the Deus Ex Machina, basically, and save the day, which I thought was very interesting because that's how the original Rise of the Silver Surfer basically ends. With the Silver, they both go through kind of the same arc where it's just like, I realize helping Galactus has been wrong, and my penance, I must sacrifice myself to help the Fantastic Four and stop Galactus. And I was like, I guess we have more to thank for those original movies than we thought, because they pretty much had already written the end of the Silver Surfer, not Surfer.
Having said all that, I think that this is definitely the best Fantastic Four film.
Easily.
But what I will say is that I felt as if the character dynamics, the relationships between the Fantastic Four and the 2005 version, while that movie is by no means a good film, I felt as if I could really relate to the characters and understand the dynamics between the characters more so in that 2005 film than I can in this film.
Really?
Just because I felt as if it was a little bit too rushed. Meaning that
I can understand
yes,
that.
Sue Storm and Reed Richards' relationship, nice, that's cool, I understand that relationship. But then you go down the totem pole and you see the relationship between, like, the Thing and Reed Richards, and you're just like, well, what's this relationship? Or what's the relationship between Sue Storm and that of, say, Reed Richards? You know, I felt as if the Thing was just viewed as just like this cheap comedic fodder and not really fully fleshed out. And as a result, it didn't really allow me to sit with the characters or really enjoy it as much as, say, the 2005 version. The 2005 version is definitely a worse film than this. Having said all that, I do feel as if the 2005 version, it allowed you to sit with the characters a little bit more. And yeah, it's definitely a more tongue-in-cheek. I would say it's a little bit more of a kid-appropriate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, in my opinion. I kind of view that film and the TMNT film of the 90s very similar to one another.
Okay.
Just because it's for kids. But I do feel as if, like, the 2005 version, I felt as if the characters were a little bit more fully fleshed out in terms of the dynamic and relationships between all of them.
Okay. I see where you're coming from, and I do agree that it feels like there's pieces missing from this new Fantastic Four. There clearly, if you watch the trailers, there's a lot cut out of this movie. John Malkovich is not in this movie, even though he has a role in the apparently he had a role at some point. How much of a role he had, we will never know. And if you just go through the trailers, like, you'll see scenes that just like are not in this movie. And so it's very clear that they were trimming this down, and I just feel as though there was maybe 5 more minutes you could have dropped into this movie just to add a little bit more meat to it, like a conversation between 2 characters, another Galactus scene, just something. The movie's missing just this much. There's this much of the movie missing, and I think putting it back in there would have brought the whole thing together, would have made it more fully formed. Not to say that, again, I did enjoy this movie, and I still think it's good. It's just, leaving the theater, I was just like, there was something missing. I can't separate that from the good time I had. There's a little something missing. A little something that maybe fell on the cutting room floor that they could have put back in there. But as it stands, this is what we got. I'm not too disappointed, but still got that itch in the back of my head.
How did you feel about the post-credit scene with Doctor Doom?
Don't care.
I thought it was the stupidest scene in Marvel history. One of the stupidest scenes in Marvel history.
Do not care about Doomsday. These last 2 Marvel movies have been surprisingly well done and competent, and then
I wouldn't say they're well done. I think they
well
exceeded
done on their
my
level.
expectations.
Okay.
But my expectations are very low.
Yes. I think they've been good, but then both those post-credit scenes come in and just ruin everything, because I can tell that they're shot by the Russo brothers, because they always look 10 times worse than the movie I just saw. I'm just like, this looks like vomit, and I hate it. Like, you see her, like, the Invisible Woman, like, use her power for like 5 seconds, and it's an effect that looks substantially worse than the effects used in the movie you just saw.
Yeah.
And I just don't care. I do not care. I have liked what they've done so far, which is, you have Thunderbolts. That's just about the Thunderbolts doing Thunderbolt things. This is about the Fantastic Four doing Fantastic Four things in their own little universe. They don't have to worry about what the hell is happening with the MCU. But then you get these little teases that are like, don't worry, everyone. We're putting it all together. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Keep the ingredients separate.
I'm not going to lie. That was unintentionally one of the most hilarious moments in the theater for me. Watching the kid interact with Doctor Doom. I'm like, that's how you shoehorn in Doom?
He's just
by
there.
just
He
like
just pops up. He's just there.
By just seeing, I'm like, what is happening here?
He just pops up. He's just like, I like your kid. Cool kid.
Why is this so ill? Like, why is this just out of the blue? You just throw him in. It's like I had more questions than answers.
Yeah, no,
and that's not what you want exiting a film. Like, obviously, in certain films, you do want to have questions, but like the questions that I had were not about the film. It was about the future, about what they're gonna do about these characters, because I know it's not gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be good.
That Doomsday, just, I don't trust it. I do not trust it for a single second. I don't think it is going to be any good. You know what? And I hope I eat my words, but I don't think I will.
I don't know. I think that there's just way too much stock put into this Doomsday film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for it to go wrong.
Yes.
But on the flip side, there's a lot of potential for it to go right.
Sure.
But I think in a lot of ways they're jumping the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not fully sold on what they're gonna do. I don't feel as if they're fully confident with where they're going, because if this is the best that they have to show for it, is this film, which is just let's just face it, it's a placeholder for Doomsday. I don't have a strong faith as to the direction of the MCU.
It's like the last two movies they've done, I feel like they're slowly building back goodwill with people. Like, look, we can still make something good and entertaining, but it's like you have to keep doing that before you can just throw the big team-up movie, big billion-dollar team-up movie in our faces.
But
like,
yeah. Having said all that, I do feel like we're kind of judging the movie on a curve.
a little bit.
Because I will say that while I did have my issues with Thunderbolts, I still prefer Thunderbolts over this movie.
I do too. I also prefer Superman.
I think Superman
this-
is the best superhero movie of this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like there's a lot of similar story beats both in this movie and Superman. I don't want to compare and contrast because, again, I did have a good time with Fantastic Four, and at this point, I'm just being nitpicky because it's fun to complain about Marvel and superheroes. But I don't know. I just felt like this movie needed more time to flesh things out a bit, but it chose not to do that. I feel as though someone at some point said this needs to be under 2 hours, like we can't be, and then they had to make some compromises. I still enjoyed myself. I still think it's fun. It's a good time, but I wanted just a little bit more.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. But I feel as if, like, it's a little less for me. Mm-hmm. Because heading into the movie, I was like, if it's just a competent movie, I'll enjoy it. Because I do like the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. And I do think that it is a storied franchise. I mean, Spider-Man appeared in this franchise. Spider-Man made his first comic book appearance in this. Amazing Fantasy 15. You know, so I do hold this franchise to a lot of value. I do hold these heroes to a lot of value. And to me, while I do think it's one of the better Fantastic Four films, I don't think it's one of the better MCU films. Mm-hmm. And as we're discussing it, and I think you can kind of attest to it, there's a lot that we've kind of forgot about the film. And I think that kind of shows you how unmemorable it is in terms of the grand scheme of it.
There's a lot in the middle that doesn't stick out. I think that first half does a lot of work building up. Again, I love that sequence when they go into space, that little adventure. They have a bunch of fun little moments that introduce you to the world, but then that middle chunk just feels like there's not a lot going on. It feels a little hollow. I do want to say one thing I really love about the movie. Herbie. I love Herbie.
Oh, RCD2?
Yeah, the little robot. I think it's cute. I like every time that Joseph Quinn, like, pet its little robot head. I thought that was adorable. In the next movie, I hope they give Herbie a gun.
Yeah, that would make it memorable.
That's what I was hoping something
Herbie
wild.
comes in with a gun, shoots Doom, end of story.
I think that'd be
End
great.
credits.
Listen, they had 4 writers for this movie. I could easily be in the Doomsday room.
Really?
If I just walked in there, I don't think they'd stop me.
No.
I think I could just go in there.
MF Doom comes out, busts 18 verses.
Peace. Heard a lot about all y'all niggas.
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
That's my Doomsday. That's my Doomsday.
That's your Doom.
That's how I would direct Doomsday.
Yeah, no. Robert Downey Jr. would still get paid like $8 billion.
Yeah.
He got paid $4 billion for that cameo at the end of this movie. Wasn't even him, it was a stand-in. But they gave Robert Downey Jr. that guy's check anyway.
They're like, yeah, Robert Downey, give another $8 billion. Talk crap about Scorsese more, and then we'll give you even more.
Robert Downey Jr.'s across the street right now. Someone run over 10K to him.
Yeah, that's exact. He has a money printing machine at his home.
Basically,
Yeah,
it's called Marvel Studios.
Yeah, that is. That's basically it. Anyways, we miss you, RDJ, back when you were an actual actor.
Yeah, listen, Christopher Nolan will drop him in something at some point.
Sure. Anyways, final thoughts wrapping up.
Final thoughts. I still like it. I still had a good time with it. I saw it twice. I wouldn't have done that if I did not enjoy myself. I think it is a fun summer superhero movie. Just me personally. There's a little bit more that it could have done to really kick me in the pants, but c'est la vie, such is life. I still think it's a good time. Ajay.
Better than Brave New World. Not as great as Thunderbolts and Superman. fine but unmemorable, and I'm not excited to see where it's going.
Neither am I.
How were your theater experiences? You watched it twice. How did the audience react and respond to what was happening on screen?
Pretty okay. Both pretty sizable crowds. Not like gut-busting like laughter or anything, but personally I laughed a couple times. I had a good few chuckles out of me. The humor in this movie, it felt very natural. It felt different from the usual superhero quippiness. It was very natural, conversational. It's just character interactions that I found quite enjoyable, and my crowd had a couple decent chuckles, but no one went like insane or anything. I felt like this sense of healing inside of myself when we all stayed for the after credits, and when Doom shows up, no one clapped or gasped, and that made me feel just like, okay, we're all normal in here.
I wish that was the same reaction.
Oh no, did you get a,
like,
oh my god,
Yeah.
it's Doom!
Yeah, Doom. That's what
Doom!
I'm Mark Wahlberg. It's Doom.
Oh my god, Dome, hey, how you doing? Dude, how you doing? You in Latveria or something? How you doing, dude?
It wouldn't have happened if I was on the towers.
Dude, Doom coming down to your universe wouldn't have happened. Galactus wouldn't have come to the Fantastic Four Tower if I were there. Would have been different. I would have said, we're turning this fantastic car around.
Yeah, basically. My audience was not as receptive to the
No,
movie.
really?
Until
Okay.
Doom showed up.
That's sad.
It was a complete 180 from Superman. Superman, I enjoyed watching it with a packed crowd. I did watch it with a packed crowd. It was on a Sunday morning, so that was nice. But they were not really receptive to the film. And then Doom shows up, and everyone's like, "Oh!" And I was just like, "This is why our culture is in a decay. This
It's
is why."
a guy with a green cloak. Oh my god, that must be Doom!
Yeah, this is why movies are dying a slow death.
Man.
Because people, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on to a rant. We'll get into the state of the film address later in the year.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to that. That'll be
But
fun.
yeah, it was not an ideal time watching this movie. Having said all that, those are our thoughts on the movie.
Those are our thoughts.
Let us know how you felt. We'll probably watch together over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
The Dave Franco, Allison Brie
yeah.
movie. I hear really good things about it.
Yes, I
So
know.
I really want to watch it. I do like Allison Brie and Dave Franco. I think they make a really good dynamic on screen. They are married.
So they should have chemistry. Yeah, spoiler, they're married.
They're married.
Yeah, unlike his brother, Dave Franco dates people his own age.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll discuss together next week.
Sure.
And Naked Gun's out.
Oh, Naked Gun!
Maybe we'll watch it.
Maybe, we'll see.
We won't discuss it, but we'll watch it.
Okay.
Anyways, those are our thoughts on the movie, and we'll see you next week. Bye.